All right, so now on to the meat and potatoes of what our learning target is. All right, we're going to be rewriting the equation of a circle in center radius form by completing the square. Okay, so a circle has an equation shown below, not in standard form. Using the process of completing the square twice, write this equation in center radius form, in standard form. All right, so standard form is going to be x minus h squared. We talked about this yesterday. And x minus k squared is equal to my radius squared. That's what I need. I need bubbles. And if you know anything about completing the square is going to get you those bubbles that we need, okay? So the first thing you're going to do with this long statement, all right, is break up your x's and y's. So notice I have my x's separated by the space, and my y's separated with a space. And since I have two spaces on this side, I also have two spaces on this side. All right, so now what do? Well, you're going to take that middle term and you're going to half it again. So half of -4 is -2. -2 squared is 4. Do the same thing with the y's. Half of -8 is -4. Remember, we only work with the term that has just the regular x to the first or y to the first. We don't touch the squareds. All right, so this is going to be 16. Now, I call this half square share, because whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other. So if I'm adding 4 over there, I have to add 4 on the other side. If I'm adding 16 on the left side, I have to add 16 on the right side as well. Okay? So now for the fun part, I'm going to actually use my same rule with my halves. I have x minus 2 squared plus, what's my half for the y's, -4. Y minus 4 squared is equal to 5 plus 4 plus 16, which is 25. I don't know why I wrote 16, but it's 25. Okay, so this is my standard form of my circle, my center radius form. The center is going to be 2, 4. And the radius is going to be the square root of 25, which is equal to 5. Let's graph the circle on the grid. Starting with the center of my circle at 2, 4, and I have my radius of 5, so I'm going to put my little markings, 5 units from the center in all directions. All right, so this is the graph of my circle. Exercise 4, each equation below represents a circle. Place this equation in standard form and then state the coordinates of its center and the length of its radius. So that's what it wants. We want to place the equation in standard form, coordinates of the center, and the length of the radius. All right, so for A, you're just given some long, drawn-out equation, right? So what they're doing right here is breaking it down for you. They're taking the x's, and they're separating them from the y's, all right? And then we're bringing the constant to the other side as usual. Okay, so what goes in my spaces? Half the middle, square it, share it. Half the middle, square it, share it. And what you're doing is creating perfect trinomial squares here. What multiplies to 16 and adds to -16? Oh, shoot. Hold up, wait a minute. This should be that should be 64. And this should be 64. What the beep? All right, so this is going to be x minus 8 squared plus y plus 5 squared is equal to -88 plus 64 plus 25, which is 1. My center is 8, -5. Remember the opposite. My radius is the square root of 1, which is 1. So the directions are the same for B. All right, you're going to just put it in the correct order first. X's come first. Y's come second. And you notice this does not look like the other one, right? Before we had x squared and regular x. Y squared, regular y. Here we have x squared, regular x, y squared, no regular y. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some placeholders. So I'm going to have x squared plus 8x plus y squared plus 0y is equal to 84. Now that I have all that, I'm going to add my spaces or my boxes, whatever you prefer. I've got 2 boxes on the left. I had to put 2 boxes on the right. Half it, square it, share it. Half 0, square it, share it. So now I have x plus 4 squared plus y plus 0 squared is equal to 100. Now let me just rewrite this because this whole y plus 0 thing can be just written as y squared. So my center is going to be negative 4 comma 0, and my radius is the square root of 100, which is equal to 10. All right? Half of... All right, so this is what your homework is going to be. Let's do D together first, and then you'll do A, B, and C on your own. And this is what you'll be submitting. All right, so same thing. I have x squared plus y squared plus 4x equals 5. I want x squared plus 4x plus y squared plus 0y is equal to 5. Next, I'm going to add my boxes in here. I got to do 5 plus my box plus my box. Oh no, I'm running out of room. Half square share. Half square share. So I have 4 going here and 0 going here. X plus 2 squared plus y squared is equal to 9. So my standard form is, change colors, x plus 2 squared plus y squared is equal to 9. My center is negative 2 comma 0, and my radius is 3. Hope this helped, guys. If you have trouble, let me know. You're going to do A, B, and C for homework.